By contrast, the Christian worldview is not reductionist. It does not reduce reason to something less than reason. Therefore, it does not self-destruct. Christian epistemology, the theory of knowledge, starts with the transcendent creator who spoke the entire universe into being with his word. And this word is also reason and rationality, the underlying principles that unifies the world into an orderly cosmos as opposed to randomness and chaos. So God created with order. How did he do so? By reason, logic, mathematics. This is how he sustains the world. It's how he thinks. And so when we put everything in the right order, everything glorifies him as pointing to him, as Paul says in Romans 1. And we're able to kind of stay on the train track. The train track isn't this depressing rules-based system, but it's why you don't lick doorposts, because by licking doorposts you get sick. And so it's not a terrible thing to tell people not to lick doorknobs. So.
By the way, what would happen to the train if it got off the train track?
Right. So it wouldn't. It either wouldn't move or it would destroy itself because it's it's barreling down. Yeah. And so that's also a good point because people are still moving. They're still utilizing this cognitive distance, and they're still coming up with conclusions. And what do they have to do in order to continue to figure out things? Well, it's to assume order. It's going back to what we first started. It's to assume not this biology is randomness, but that there's a structure, that there's an engineering based system to that, and we definitely see that within our discoveries of DNA and how it's not just a placeholder for whatever biological need. It's actually information. It's pretty amazing of the discoveries that DNA has shown that structure and order and information, which information is a communicative tool, and the DNA seems to be this only time where information isn't it doesn't originate from anything that's an intelligence. So,
in other words, they give it an exception.
Right. Yeah. Right. So they've reduced DNA to what it only appears like.
So all information comes from intelligence except DNA. Right. The structure of DNA. No, that couldn't be.
Right. So the biblical view has two crucial implications. First, the intelligible order of the universe reflects the mind of the Creator, and second, because God created humans in His image, our minds correspond with that order as well. There is congruence between the structure of the world and the structure of human cognition. How do we know things? Because God has made us such that we can be like Him in this certain way, and we can know things about the world in which we also operate ourselves in. So God has created both us and the world in such a way that there's a certain fit or match between the world and our cognitive faculties. The fall, though, has darkened or distorted this. However, we still retain the image of God. And so throughout history, the Bible has inspired confidence in the essential reliability of human cognitive faculties. So, why do we have wrong theories and ideas? Because this distortion of truth, because of the fall. But we're still able to know things because we're not completely depraved in our own in being reflective of the Creator. Biblical epistemology is backed up experientially by general revelation. To function from day to day, humans have to assume that we do have a great many things that the material world.
So notice she says here, in order to function,
right?
In order to exist in the world,
to continue
we have to
on.
make some exception, right? Some assumptions here, right?
Yeah. The material world is
and
real.
She gives us a list of about 6 or 7 assumptions that we have to make in order to function in the world.
Right. So the material world is real. The chair I'm sitting on will hold me up, or that there's even a chair. That the universe works by cause and effect. If I drop this book, then it'll fall. That our memories are basically reliable. What did I eat for lunch today? I know. Nothing. That other people have minds, even though I cannot directly see them. and that laws of logic are valid. To discredit logic, I have to argue using logic. In our daily actions, we have to assume the basic reliability of human cognition. And all these are metaphysical claims, and what
the logical positives would say doesn't exist or is new.
Right. But then you have people like Mises, Ludwig von Mises, who had this praxeology, the study of human action, that humans do act, and there's kind of that determination from a donkey of he's 50 feet away from 2 barrels of water, and so which one does he do? Well, he's equal distance away, and so he can't choose, right? There's no way for the donkey to move, and so he's just unable to move, and so he dies of thirst. Well, no,
or the monkey who puts his hand in the thing and grabs, I don't know what he grabs, nuts, I guess, and he has them in his fist, but now he can't get his hand back out of it. And so he doesn't want to let him go because he wants the nuts, but he can't get his hand out because his fists, is clogging up the way to get him out. And so he has a serious problem.
Right. So we have to function as if humans have all these things in order to go. I don't believe that there's any other minds, that I existed 5 minutes before we just started this podcast. I'm going to write a book about this. To who? Who am I writing this book to? Nobody, right? And I'm not even sure once I finished that book that it wasn't 5 minutes that I just came about this solipsism issue. No, you don't argue that way. You don't function that way. But they always, the reductionists always want to carve out these different facts for themselves. So anything we must assume in order to function in the world is part of general revelation, which we all have access to. It's not just, only believers only Christians can operate morally. No, there's general revelation which points you to a biblical Christian God, because you can say, this is wrong or this is right, or I have an icky feeling towards this, and that's wrong to have that icky feeling. You don't want icky feelings, right? So there's that. So all these signposts point to the biblical God. The upshot is that all worldviews have to borrow the Christian epistemology, Christian worldview, in order that, at least at the moment they are making their claims, they must tacitly assume the reliability of reason and rationality, which only a biblical worldview supports. They have to function as if Christianity is true, even as they reject it. And I think she goes into this great point of C.S. Lewis, who I think puts a huge tack in making this point.
Makes a point. In fact, that's what's coming next. C.S. Lewis's